Okay, we're solving exercises of the study guide for an exam. Uh, the topic we're gonna deal with right now is graphs of linear functions. We're gonna find equations of lines. That's basically what we're gonna try to do. The first exercises are basically lines that are already on the coordinate plane. So all I have to do is find the equation. So remember that the equation of a line is usually y equals mx plus b. It follows this pattern. Okay, so what I have to do is find m and find b. M is basically the number of squares that the line is moving. Okay, the pattern on the movement of the squares. If you count the squares from one intersection to the next one, you will see in this case 1, 2, 3 numbers, 3 squares, sorry. So basically that will be number 3, because the line is decreasing, it's basically falling, it's going down, then it's going to be negative. Okay, so minus 3x, that will be the first part of the answer. Now the number b is the vertical number where the line is going to cross. This line is crossing on this point, and this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's positive 5, so number b will be 5, and that's it. That's what I have to do. I count blocks or squares, and then I figure out where the line is going to cross. That's it. Okay, so the next exercise will be with another line in here, and I follow the same pattern. So it's still the same way, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I need to find the m. I'm gonna count the squares from one intersection to the next one. So from this one to this one, I have 1, 2 squares. So it will be 2x. Now, because the line is increasing, it's going up, it's gonna be positive. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna put plus 2, because like you don't put plus to the first number. And b is the vertical number where the line is going to cross. The line is crossing on the vertical number 3, right? Because this is 1, 2, and 3, yes? So instead of b, I'm going to put 3. And that's it. That will be the answer for this other exercise. Now, sometimes exercises, they don't give you like a drawing. They just give you information about 2 points. Because if you have 2 points, you can make a drawing using a ruler. Okay, so you could try drawing this thing with a ruler, but usually the process is actually trying to use some formulas. There is a formula to find m is if we have 2 points. The formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. The sub 2 and the sub 1, they just mean the point, the position of the point. Remember that these points are basically x on the first number and y on the second number. So what I have in here is the second y minus the first y. That's kind of like what I'm trying to find. So I'm going to substitute, and instead of the second y, I'm going to put, well, basically the second y, which is 7. The first y is 3, the second y is 7. So it will be 7, the second y, minus 3, which is the first y. Same thing with the x's. The second x, which is 5, minus the first x, which is 4. It will be 5 minus 4. Then, well, I continue the operations by subtracting. So 7 minus 3 will be 4. And 5 minus 4 will be 1. So now I need to divide. So 4 divided by 1 will give me 4. That's how I find m. Now, once I found m, I'm going to look for b. How am I going to find b? I'm going to use the formula of the line, which was, if you remember, mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to change all of this information with the numbers of one of the points. I'm going to use the first one. So what is the y in this point? 3. Which number is m? M is 4. We just found it. Okay, so we put 4 instead of m. and which number is x. So instead of x, I'm gonna put, if the y is 3, then the x is gonna be 4. Okay. We're not gonna use 5 or 7, because if we already choose one of the points, then we're gonna stick to that one. Then if you see the parentheses, that's basically a multiplication, so 4 times 4 is gonna be 16. Now this 16, I can pass it to the other side because it's positive. If I move it to the left, it will be minus 16, okay, and the equal will be basically on this side. And the b is no longer with a plus because it's the first number there. So 3 minus 16 will be negative 13. So that will be the answer for B. So I already found M and I found B. My answer is going to be basically the equation of the line. So the equation of the line will be, remember that is y equals mx plus b. So which number is m? 4. And which number is b? Negative 13. So I'm not going to put plus because it's negative, right? So I'm going to put negative 13. That will be the answer for the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points, okay? Y equals 4x minus 13. It's not that difficult. We just need to use this formula and this one. So same process for this, okay? So I'm going to create a table. And I'm going to make disappear this thingies. And I'm going to need this formula. Okay, so I'm going to copy it so that I can work with it. Okay, the formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by s sub 2 minus x sub 1. So which is the second y? This is the first point, this is the second point. So in the second point, the y is 12. Okay, 12 minus, which is the first point. The first point is minus 3,7. And the y of that point is 7. So instead of y sub 1, I'm going to put 7. Okay. Now x sub 2. The second point, the x is 5. Minus of the formula and the x of the first point, which is negative 3. Now some people might think like I just put the 3 because I already have a minus. No, this minus is the minus of the formula. It's not the minus of the number. So you copy the minus because it's a minus of the formula, and then you put parentheses because you're going to put another minus. This minus is of the formula, okay, of the original formula that we had in here, like x2 minus x1. So this one says x2 minus and then x1. x1 is negative 3, so that gives me the other negative. You need to be careful with that. And then I subtract. 12 minus 7 will be 5. And 5 minus negative 3 will be 8. If I divide those things, then I will get the answer 0.625. Okay, so that will be m. Yes, m can be a decimal. Yeah, if we try to put these points in a coordinate plane and draw a line, you're gonna see that that thing doesn't pass through many points as we might think. So it's better to use a formula to find it. Using the drawing will be very complicated. Remember, we use the original formula of the line to find b. With this formula, we just need to substitute the information. Which number is y? I'm going to use the first point, kind of like we usually use the first point, but we could use the second one if we want. Okay, but I'm going to use the first one. Okay, so the y is 7 and the x is minus 3. So the y in this case is 7. The m is 0.625. And the x is minus 3. So I'm gonna multiply 0.625 with negative 3. So 0.625 times minus 3 will be negative 1.875. So this thing will be negative 1.875. Because it's negative, I can move it to the other side and it will be positive. So instead of minus 1.875, it will be plus 1.875. Remember, if I move them to the other side of equal, then the sign is going to change. So 7 plus 1.875 will be 8.875. So I already found B and I already found M. All I have to do now is write the answer of the exercise. Remember that we're looking for the equation of a line, and the equation of a line is going to be y equals mx plus b. We need to write, instead of m, because I found it, 0.625, and instead of b, 8.875. And that will be the answer for this exercise. That's kind of like what we do when we don't have a drawing, and when we have a drawing, we just count the blocks or the squares, and then we see where it's gonna cross. So that will be the process, the two processes that we're gonna use to solve these exercises.